You ain't no expert. I don't know one thing, but I know something. That you know nothing. I got no answers. You got assumptions. You went to college and had a luncheon. Got all this hearsay information, but you know the truth. Congratulations, and no one asked for your opinion. So take mine. I'll always give one. Hi, hello, hi, hello, hi. Don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about too.
I think I'm just going to pick a different, obscure, weird Thumpasaurus song every week.
Thumpasaurus. I like it. Nice little bop.
It is Sunday, the 6th of April. Kiara, let me ask you this. Growing up, were you accustomed to every first Sunday in April being Easter?
It definitely wasn't whatever's going on now.
Okay.
I can't tell you. I don't think I realized the pattern, but it's different.
It is weird when it's almost the end of April, May this year.
Mhm.
But you know, it doesn't stop big corporate. The Easter shit's been out since the sun came
Valentine's
out.
Day.
Right, yeah, there you go. This is Plot Points. I've got some other ladies trickling in. As always, I'm Chris. I've wore the sweatshirt for the last 3 days. Kiara, to my right. Kiara, how has your week been? It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we talked last.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. It's been a little bit of calm, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, getting the house ready to sell. So doing a lot of like organizing, packing, throwing away.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bit of what's happening in the world finally reached my front doorstep. So my company's making a lot of decisions in May. So I'm definitely trying to get the house out from under me before I potentially get impacted. So just, yeah, a little bit of calm in the storm, but a lot of storm too.
Did it happen to you? One of my favorite things when I'm packing up or moving stuff. Did you find that one thing? You're like, oh my God, I didn't know I still had this thing. I didn't know
I
this.
found a couple things.
Go ahead.
I really have. I found a pair of earrings that I thought I lost ever ago.
Oh, yeah.
I found my what's it called? I lost it. My brain lost it forever. So I found it in my house, but I lost it from my brain, and that just is what it is right now. But no, I found a lot of jewelry. I found a retainer that I had to get reordered and resent to my house. So it just, yeah, a little bit of just a lot of unfound treasure. And I'm doing that thing where like I'm going through things, but I can't really get through anything because I'm like, oh, I found this. And then I have to like put it on or use it or find a new place for it. So it's just very slow going through all of the rooms for sure.
No, I completely get that. But that is like one of my favorite things. That or just hidden money somewhere. It's always my favorite thing.
I haven't found any money.
Well,
I'm not a big cash person, so it's not a surprise to me that I haven't found money, but maybe I need to be one of those people now. Just every once in a while, put a 20 somewhere for future me.
Just treat yourself unknowingly. Just, I might reread this book one day. There's a 20 in there.
Hell yeah.
How about the pup? Is the pup doing the thing where you're packing up all the boxes and like, okay, what are we doing? What's going on?
Anxiety is high. Anxiety is very high. But he'll be okay. I think when I start doing like the heavy rooms start to look different vibe, I think I'm going to have him go to my mom's so that he doesn't have to be here for that part. But I'm hoping to get that part done in like a weekend. So it's like we just shift from one place to another and life is as little interrupted as possible.
No, absolutely. Now, let me ask also, Ari, what did you do the last 2 weeks? Just snipe you. Just snipe you.
Mostly deal with this computer that like something's wrong with the charger. Like it's reading 100% right now, but as soon as I turned it on, like I got into the link and it shut off.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know, and it's done that several times. It did it during my class a couple weeks ago, which luckily they were in breakout rooms, so like I was able. They didn't know that I had gone. I was able to sneak back into the session. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with it. I basically have to keep it plugged in at all times now, or it just shuts off.
If you were to come off of the call and the kids are there, like you would drop it, would they just all be like, go, and they just leave, or no?
So it's happened one other time where there's a big red button. So we do the classes through Zoom that says end. But if you're in like something else, so if they're in breakout rooms or we have like a whiteboard open where we're collaborating. Sorry, all my apps are reopening right now from where it shut off spontaneously. And there have been, I think, 1 or 2 times in the like 4 years that I've been teaching these classes online that I've accidentally hit end and it's ended the meeting. So they actually changed the settings. So now you have to like double click it. It's like end and then end meeting for all. So it doesn't happen anymore. But so I just frantically emailed them and I was like, don't leave. Like, I'll be back in 30 seconds. And so they were all still there. Luckily, I think they were just like, what happened? But so it hasn't been an issue thus far. I would like to think that, I don't know, I would definitely be one of the ones that was like, I'll just wait and see what happens. Like, that would be me as a student instead of like, cool, bye. But yeah, the last 2 weeks, I don't feel like we're still just dragging on until spring break, which we still have 2 weeks until, which is crazy. I went to a conference.
That's crazy. My daughter had spring break this week.
Yeah, we always do our Easter. So regardless of how late in the year Easter is, like it's our spring break.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then we have state testing this week. So, but luckily that's easy and I get a lot of planning done and 3 days of just like nothing. So I get a lot of work done.
So is it literally, are you the teacher that is when the state testing is, they're all quiet and silent? It's like, hey, you, eyes on your own test.
So I am actually in a room we have a student who moved here 2 years ago from Haiti. Nice. And so her primary language is French or Haitian Creole. So I'm in a one-on-one room with her in case she needs any translation help. She hasn't. So it's been easy. And then at the end, we just like talk in French for a little while. Because she doesn't get to very much anymore. But it's really nice. So it's just her. She takes her test and I'm just like,
hell yeah. And now is your classroom like a hub for all students, or just she's coming one-on-one to your classroom?
It is not my classroom. So I have to go to someone else's classroom because somebody's using mine. So it's not that bad. I just take my Chromebook with me, but it would be nice because I have a space heater in mine because I'm always cold. So I have to bundle up if I'm in somebody else's classroom, even though the thermostat's reading like 70, 71 degrees, but I'm still like shivering wearing my winter coat.
Damn.
Old person.
Right now there's nobody watching. You made a big announcement to us a couple of weeks ago. Now, let me ask you this. Has anybody come forward with anything crazy yet? Like, I can't believe it. Do you get any of those when a woman becomes pregnant? I don't know. I'm not either.
Not really. I think I was the one who couldn't believe it more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it was very surprising. Not an unwelcome surprise, just surprising. But I haven't posted. I've only posted on Facebook because I don't have any students on there, but my Instagram is public. So I have some students like past and current students who follow me on Instagram. So I haven't posted anything on there. Some of my students know, like my French 4s, because I've known them forever. They know. And then my 3s I told last week, but then my 1s and 2s don't know. So I don't know. It makes me feel very like, I was talking to one of the counselors, or not counselors, one of the secretaries the other day, and I was telling our resource officer, because a bunch of people just had babies at work, and so we were talking about that, and I said something. She was like, "Oh, are you like planning on getting pregnant?" And I was like, "I'm pregnant."
Mind your business. No, I'm kidding.
No, I told her, but then the secretary was like, "You can't roll your eyes every time you say it." And I'm like, "It's weird to say. Like, I don't know. It's like a very, like, I think big thing to share casually, even though I have no problem sharing it casually. I can't apparently do it without like doing something with my face." That she was like, "Look happy." I'm like, "I am happy about it." So I don't know. It's just a very, like, every time someone asks me about it, I just like shrivel up, like,
Well,
I'm just a girl. I can't be a
well, myself, Kiara, and Laura couldn't be happier for you, and you delivered the news to us in a pretty epic way, both times.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll
Not
say
like a lot
the
of
second
fanfare,
time.
but I do like a surprise. So
Well, I don't think I'll say anything about the second reveal. Was that a public thing too?
not really. Like, no, I haven't
Okay.
put anything out about that one.
Okay. Ladies, what did I do the last 2 weeks? I was telling Kiara my in-laws were here since last Thursday. They left yesterday, and I am now 35, and I can't be sleeping on a king-size air mattress for 8 days. So I'm really tired, really sore, and Kiara can attest to it that the Army loves to get you when they get you, and I have 24-hour duty tomorrow. So,
Of course.
but yeah, but I had a lovely visit. They came, they do what grandparents do and spent way too much money on their granddaughter. So she was like a princess. New dresses for orchestra concerts and choir concerts, and
Oh, yeah.
new shoes and new bathing suits for the summer when she gets to go home. And then I'm going to go to the Philippines for the summer, which we're going to have to work around, do some work around. I got to figure out what 13 hours ahead of you guys looks like on a Sunday.
Or we all go to the Philippines. I would love to go. Thank you for the invitation.
As long as you don't drink the water there, you beautiful queen.
I feel like my OBGYN would not be happy with me not drinking water.
Yeah, I don't want to have any future complications held over my head.
Yeah.
We went to, I'll share one funny story real quick. My father-in-law, we're both big sports fans, so he came. We got to see the Seattle Kraken play, the NHL team, the new team they have. They got a brand new arena in Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena, and it
Kraken's
is
a
so
hell of a mascot.
weird, isn't he? Just like, do you know the mascot's teeth come out? Yes, I found that out firsthand. It's hockey.
Oh, okay.
Yes, his teeth come out. We had phenomenal seats. It was a 0-0 game, and my wife, who doesn't drink often, she was drinking, and so was my mother-in-law. And then the second period started. They were like, "All right, hey, we're gonna go walk and see the new arena, use the bathroom, get another beer." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, go." They were gone for a good 10 minutes. It was a 0-0 game, and they came back. They missed 6 goals and a marriage proposal. So
they missed everything, really.
Everything, and a fight. I was like, I can't believe it.
I'd be so bummed.
I'm telling you. And then a guy scored 2 goals. I don't know if you're up on hockey. If you score 3 goals, it's a hat trick, and everybody in the stands throws their hat on the ice. So the dude scored a second goal, and I was like, okay, it's Aubrey's first hockey game. So I ran to the gift shop. Of course, I bought a $40 fucking hat just in case she could throw it on the ice and have that. But of course, he didn't score. But she loves the hat. Sunday, we went to the Seattle Mariners opening week game. That was super, super fun. And they won. We saw a rookie from Japan pitch his first game. And I actually pulled his rookie card the other day. So I'm going to hold that on as a keepsake. We turned around Tuesday, let the girls have a girls' day or a girls' night. They did pajamas, popcorns, and made mosaic crafts while John and I went to another Mariners game, and we were on the ninth row. You know, you could catch the players' sunflower seeds. They spit them back in the crowd. That was fun. And my father-in-law, he's very, very much into sports cards. And me, you know, he's like, you go on like TikTok and things, and people always open packs of cards and doing all that. He has a business and he does those and things like that. And he's an avid collector. And me, I'm just a guy that likes to go and thumb through the singles. Let me find my guys. These are my guys, you know. I'm that person. And but we found a really cool pack, a brand that it's the old school cards, like the old school. Back in the day, they would do like cigarette cards. You get a pack of cigarettes and you have like a little tiny mini card in them, right? Cool. Well, we found a company that does these, and they do really cool, obscure pop culture ones too. Like, here are the national parks, and they're all like cool stuff, right? So Jen gets so excited. She's like, "Oh, I fucking love this," you know. And then she found the Oregon Zoo did a collection where they did X-rays on animals, and she loves.
I like that.
I'll do you one better. This year, their series is all of the Westminster Best in Show dogs.
No.
So, you know, we're collecting the whole set.
Yes.
So, you know, me, I'm trying to find rookies. I'm trying to find my guys, and my wife, who's probably opened.
She's like, I gotta get that corgi.
Right. Oh, well, no, she's on a bid right now because one of them, the one that won Best in Show for the small dogs, it's a numbered card and a piece of their Best in Show ribbon is in it. She's like, I need it. Right. So she loves it. So I bought a whole box of it. I bought a whole box yesterday, and we're just opening packs. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if I think he's a generational talent, and you might know the name. Well, she pulls a card, and she's like, Chris, there's a number on the back of this. I'm like, okay. She's like, it's one of one. There's only one card made. I was like, who is it? She pulled the hottest card in the world. Shohei Ohtani, one of one. A one of one card. And I was like, holy hell. I'm like, I've been opening cards my whole life. She opens 3 packs, and she gets a one of one card. Shohei Ohtani. I'm like, that's the only one that exists, you know. And of course, she's going on eBay and looking. She's like, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. She's like, we can't let people know where we live. I'm like, I'm not that serious, but
like the lottery ticket. You see that movie with Bow Wow? You remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't have Bow Wow on my bingo card today, but I'm excited for that now. But yeah, today we got to do some laundry. I've got to do some reading because I went to the comic book store and went nuts.
Yeah, I went to Barnes & Noble to look for a birthday present for a friend. I didn't find what I was looking for, but I found 2 things for me. So I got this book called At the Bottom of the Garden. That Tim is very good about like finding books that he knows that I would like. So he like finds it, reads the back, and then he's like, yes, that's the, and hands it to me. And I'm like, yep. And it goes in our cart. So it's about this woman who lives alone. She's a killer, but then her nieces are orphaned and they have to come live with her. And her parents were rich. So she's like, okay, how do I get the money? But then she also has like bodies buried in her backyard. And one of the little girls can see the ghosts of the people that she killed. So I'm really excited to read that. And then I got Witch Blood, which ran for 10 issues.
Uh-huh.
Have you read it?
Who's the artist on that one? Because it looks familiar.
There are 4 names listed, so I'm not sure which is which. Let me see.
It's usually the second name.
Yeah. That would be Sterle, Sterle.
I'm totally wrong
then. The coloration and stuff is giving like Jen Bartlett. Lisa Sterle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Colorist.
Okay, so what's the premise of that one?
So they are biker vampires.
Love it. It's like a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah. So, there's a band of biker vampires that are chasing after this witch who is on like a road trip type thing.
Is she on like a pleasant road trip for herself? Like I just need to find myself, do some
Cruising the
discovering, and they're just
South
trying to
is
attack
what
her.
it says. Yeah, so I haven't started it yet, but I was
Okay.
looking for something compact. I really wanted to get the entire like compendium of Lock and Key to reread, but they didn't have it in store.
Mm.
And I didn't want to buy the individual issue or individual trades because they were $20 each. So
One more side note, also, buzzing bees, all the bees.
oh my god.
We
Yeah,
love
she
a bee
loves them.
moment.
She
Mhm.
she's
too.
all about them. I haven't got to read a damn thing. I am in the middle of what's going to be, I think, one of the best books I've read in a long, long time. I've been in the middle of Martyrs for such a long time, and I'm almost done with it. But I'm sure everyone's seen this one on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
This one is so damn good. It follows a young Iranian man named Cyrus. When he's when he's first born, before he's one, his mom, after a pregnancy, she's like, I need a moment for me. I need something. So she gets on a plane. If you look it up, it's flight 255 is in 1988. A U.S. naval ship shot it down. It's a true thing. They couldn't identify the aircraft, and they shot down a sky bus, killing everybody on board. And yeah, like I said, it's a real thing. I looked it up. So his dad takes him. They go to Indiana. They go to the States to find a new life. He becomes a chicken farmer, and his dad literally, when Cyrus goes to college, his dad dies. It was kind of that thing, hey, let me keep him alive this long. Let me do my job, and then his dad finally dies, and now Cyrus, he's trying to find some purpose in his life. So he starts to look in, real famous martyrs. He's like, let me find something that's worth dying for. And this famous artist, she has an art gallery for a whole month in New York City, but she's dying of cancer. And she comes forward and says, hey, I'm refusing treatment. I will be here at my gallery every day for 3 hours. Anybody wants to come talk to me, she's like a modern marvel in the art world, this, that, and the third. And she said, hey, for a couple hours every day, you can come talk to me, and she's willing to talk to anybody that comes, this, that, and the third. So he takes the opportunity, and he goes, talks to her, and she is an Iranian woman as well. And she tells him, hey, about you give your life, quit looking for purpose and just live your life. And, the purpose will come, this, that, and the third. And they're talking, and he's like, yeah, they get into talking about his mother. And she's like, yeah, well, my mother died when I was 1, and this, that, and the third. She's like, well, you live for her, this, that, and the third. And she's like, you have a life right now. And she goes, don't you think that all the people on that plane would have loved to have the time that you have now? And he's like, yeah, I think you're right. And they walk away, and he walks away. He said, wait, I told him my mother died. I didn't tell him anything about my mother dying in a plane. How does she know? And that's where I stopped. And I was like, oh, I'm going to finish this book today. And then I've got a plethora of stuff I can take for 24-hour duty here come tomorrow. Good read so far. Super good read. Kiara, what have you read? What have you watched? Anything good?
I've consumed quite a bit because I went on that. I have the 7-day free trial of Apple TV, which is unnecessary because my sister gave me her login, but
Yeah.
I lost the piece of paper that I wrote it on. And then I was like, I'm going to start Severance. So I just did the free. So I did both seasons of Severance, all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso, 10 out of 10 season 1 Severance, 8 out of 10 season 2 Severance. Ted Lasso, no notes at all whatsoever, as to be expected. And then I watched Devil May Cry is on Netflix. They made like an anime of the video game.
My wife likes the video games, and she thinks Dante's a cutie, so I gotta leave the room. She's
Dante is a cutie.
Yeah, okay.
He is a cutie. I wouldn't have picked cutie as my adjective, but we'll roll with it.
Let's hear yours.
He's a morally gray anti-hero with abs is how I like to describe him. But super good. It just came out on Netflix, I think this calendar year. So definitely recommend to her if she hasn't popped in and watched it. And then as far as books are concerned,
Can I stop you?
Please.
Did you not try Shrinking?
I
on
didn't
Apple TV?
get to it in the 7 days. So I finished Ted Lasso on the last day of the 7 days. But my sister has re-given me her stuff. But I have to take a hiatus so I can read because I've got 4 books that I'm in. I'm already in 4 books. So I feel like if I don't spend some time, I'll never finish them. So I've got Memory Police started. We've talked about that one already. And then I'm almost done. I've got like 45 minutes left. I'm going to finish today on the audio book of a book called I Who Have Never Known Men. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It is a book written from the perspective of a woman who spent the entirety of her recollectable life in a bunker with 39 other women, with no interaction with men at all, except
I have
for
heard of this. Yeah.
yeah, except for like seeing the guards that come at irregular hours. And it's this story of how they eventually become freed from the bunker, but it's this like becoming reacquainted with what life looks like, but having no idea what life used to look like, and learning lessons through the stories of the older women, but also just feeling kind of disconnected from it all because she was an adolescent. Well, she was a child when she got put in the bunker, but everybody else was an adult. And so she was raised in the bunker, and then she was like early 20s when they got released from not released, but when there's an event that happens that leads to them being able to escape. And so it's kind of this like idea of if you know nothing about what it is to be a human, how you come to find out how to be one. And it's this I don't know, it's pretty poignant. For sure. And it's like got this like these parallels of like stoicism and like humanity at the same time. So I'm enjoying it. It's shaping up to be a solid read. But I'll know more how I feel when it's done. And then I've got my toes dipped in 1984 that I'm reading with the little book club that I have with Chief Paul Hansen.
Yeah.
And then Patricia is on cue in my audiobook. I did audiobook. I figured it was the safest route.
Right. Well, we've got an extra week for Patricia now. Obviously, we're going to take off for Easter. I think that makes the most sense. And obviously, I haven't even picked it up yet or got it on an audiobook. So I think we're good there. I'm at awe of you guys who can do multiple books at the same time. I'm a person that can do one book at a time, and then I can do like one graphic novel at a time. But if I do any more, then I'm just all over the place.
Can you watch more than one show at a time?
Yeah, actually I can. I can do more than one show at a time, but I have a wife who hates TV until I show her something she likes, and she's like, okay, I like this. But anytime it's like
TV.
it's the opportunity. I'm like, hey, do you want to watch this? She's like, no, I don't want to watch this. I'd rather play The Legend of Zelda. I'd rather play Genshin Impact or do something else or work on my quilt or something. But if I can force her to sit in bed and turn it on, then she'll start asking. Like I did it last night. We ate dinner and I tried to catch up on Daredevil Born Again. And she's like, is that Jude the serial killer? I'm like, ooh, got my hooks in ya. So, no, I wish I could, but I feel like I'd get even less done. That's just the kind of person I am. It is April now. Is there anything good coming out this month? I know like Allery said, well, Kiara and I were talking, and Allery brought it up, Easter's so damn late. We assumed that growing up, it was always the first Sunday in April. It should be Easter now, but now it's the 20th. I don't know what's coming out this month. If anything worth a damn television or
I just
movies.
saw a TikTok that he was pretty optimistic for movies coming out in April. Let me see if I can just pull up a thing really quick. I have not been to the movie theater since December when ours shut down. So we've mostly just been waiting for stuff to come to streaming. So I think Wicked was the last thing I saw in theaters. but we haven't. Oh, we watched, like I said, Train to Busan finally.
Oh hell yeah,
And
so good.
yeah, incredible. We also watched the sequel, which was not as good and not really connected at all, but it was still entertaining. Like as far as a zombie movie goes, it was good. If you're not watching it through the lens of like comparing it to Train to Busan, it was called
The Peninsula something.
Peninsula. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peninsula. Um, so Minecraft just released. I've heard good things about Hell of a Summer. It's like a comedy slasher.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got the boy from Stranger Things in it,
Yeah.
or he even directed it or something.
Yeah, one with Michael B. Jordan. Oh, and Haley Steinfeld is coming out called Sinners.
I have seen Sinners, but I was dumb enough to watch the second trailer, so now I feel like I know the whole fucking movie.
Okay, I've only seen the first like teaser that they showed during the Super Bowl,
Okay, good.
but I've
Don't
been
watch the
watching
next
some of
one.
the press with Michael B. Jordan, who I will moment of respect for Michael B. Jordan because he's the most beautiful man I've ever seen. But also Haley Steinfeld that looks good.
Did you see that thing that went around about his hands?
No,
There's like a
Don't
TikTok
ruin
going
it for
around
me.
about like say again.
I said don't ruin him for me.
Don't taint him.
It's all about angles. He's got very regular, normal hands, but there's this one picture where he has like his hands like this, and his thumb looks weird, and everybody's freaking out about how he's got the little tiny baby thumb. But if you look at other pictures of his hands, he's got regular hands. I went down the rabbit hole for Michael B. Jordan hands, so no one else has to do it. But it was one very weird picture of his thumb, and the internet went crazy.
Took off with it.
There's one coming out called Warfare that I haven't seen a trailer for.
A24 film, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the
Okay.
trailer for that one.
Yeah, it has a good young cast. So Joseph Quinn, Kit Connor, who's one of the stars of Heartbreaker, Will Poulter, who I love, Cosmo Jarvis, I don't know who that is, and Noah Centineo.
You know, I don't know where we're divided on the Bear spectrum, but I really, really, really enjoyed Will Poulter in the 2 episodes he was in The Bear this last
I have
season.
not watched it.
He was
I haven't seen the latest season either.
He was
I
very
haven't watched
good in
any
it.
of it.
Oh, he was very, very good in it, and you come to find out that the main character, I can't remember the guy's name, a kid from Shameless, everyone loves him. They actually went to France and they worked under a legendary cook, and that legendary cook, you know, she pops up at the end. It's actually Olivia Colman, who I absolutely love. I love everything Olivia Colman's in.
She's also in Heartstopper. She plays Kit Connor's mom.
Well, I watch every movie. There's a few ladies that, regardless of the film genre era, whatever it is, I watch them. I watch everything Olivia Colman's in because I think she's phenomenal. Everything that Frances McDormand's in, I watch. I love the both of them, but it was always a pleasant surprise when you see Olivia Colman pop up. I loved her as I know Kiara watched it. I loved her as Fleabag's new mother-in-law, and she was the perfect amount of subtle cunty, and it worked.
And
so
sometimes
well.
not so subtle cunty.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It was cool to see her in a role like that because you always see her stealing the screen in every scene she's in when it comes to movies.
The other one that I will for sure be seeing, regardless of how terrible it is Death of a Unicorn. That comes
Oh
out
yeah. Oh yeah. I will.
So
I saw the trailer for that.
Yeah.
I obviously love Paul Rudd. I think Jenna Ortega is great too. Will Poulter's in that one as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is Will Poulter eyebrow guy?
Yes.
Okay, because I
Had a
haven't
big
seen him in
one.
anything that he's done as an adult, but I'm worried that the first time I see him in something as an adult, I'm going to see Chronicles of Narnia or Maze Runner, and that's just where my life is going to exist.
A major glow up.
Yeah.
I know he looks significantly different, but I think I wonder how my brain is going to do with seeing him differently.
You've seen the last Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't.
Oh, really? Okay.
I haven't.
Well,
No.
He was Adam Warlock on that one. Okay.
I really dropped off the Marvel train so hard. I started to feel like I know, no judgment, but I started to feel like I needed to go back and rewatch things because I had no idea what was going on, and then I fell off. because it started to get insurmountable, the amount of things that I didn't understand. But one day, I think the level of hyperfixation that I felt for Severance or Ted Lasso, I could probably conjure up for a nice Marvel marathon.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's.
I would all the trigger warnings for Guardians 3. I will probably never watch it in its entirety again. I will be skipping the middle half.
Oh yeah, it's
It is
rough.
a hard watch.
I took Aubrey to theaters
No.
for that one. That one was rough.
That's
That
going to
one was
be
really
her
rough.
like go to when she goes to therapy later. Like,
Well-
why are you here? Well, my dad took me to see this movie.
No, well, funny. I'm trying not to get off talk, so we can talk about our April showers. We it's an incredibly sad fucking movie, and they play Creep by was it
Radiohead.
Smashing Pumpkins or Radiohead, and then Aubrey really enjoyed the movie because obviously it ends on a very nice note, but that the song Creep's in it, and then like I'd be in the truck and I've got Sirius in the truck and I'd be like, oh Dad, keep this one. And then she's like, I'm a creep. She's back there singing it. I'm just like, but I didn't put the two together. I forgot that we saw the movie. And she's like, oh, can you play that song? Like another time. She's like, can you play that song? I'm like, sure. I'm like, what's going on with you? Like,
You feeling all right?
Something going on you know about? Like fucking 7th grade really getting you? Like, oh, maybe she just likes Radiohead. I'd hope.
Yeah.
No, those are all movies I want to see. You talked about Death of a Unicorn. Obviously, I try not to be that guy that like, oh, A24 films. I love A24 films. They're different. They're not movies. They're films. You know,
I will see most things that they slap A24 on.
I will watch almost everything they do. They have a really cool horror movie coming out that I'm excited of. The name escapes me. I'll find it. But Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd are in a new A24 film where they become neighbors and they become best friends. And Tim Robinson being crazy as hell. Tim Robinson, the friend group of guys, like just kind of outs them. Like, we're not friends with you anymore. And then just crazy chaos ensues. I'll find the trailer, but it looks super funny. And if you put Tim Robinson next to Paul Rudd headlining a movie, it's probably going to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
So I want to see that.
I don't know when it comes out, but I'm also intrigued by I can't think of what it's called now, Together or something like that. But it's Allison Brie and
Dave Franco. Yeah, it's a horror movie. Yeah.
Horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did see that one. I do like Allison Brie and Dave Franco. I almost say James and I almost get canceled, but yeah, Dave.
The better Franco.
There it is. There it is.
And they're married. That's so cute.
Yeah, that is cute. We're 40 minutes in. We're going to talk April showers. We're talking about tears of joy from books, movies, TV, what have you. We've got Laura's picks. I'll leave them, and you know what? We'll let her talk in 2 weeks. Give her a quick one. Kiara had a guess to Laura's choice, and she was brought up. It was
wrong,
and you were wrong. Laura actually chose. Where is that? She actually chose Hacksaw Ridge. You went with the guess.
It's a good pick.
Saving Private Ryan and Peanut Butter Falcon, but I'm not going to delve into those. I'm going to let Laura do her due diligence.
I've seen both. I've cried happy tears in both. Now that I remember, yeah.
I'm also a person that like I can't watch war movies just because like I'm that guy that sits and picks out like inaccuracies. I'm like, why would that happen? Like that would never. So I don't ever watch them. I think the only ones I watch are like
Grey's Anatomy.
The uniforms are always wrong.
Right. Well, I always watch like the older stuff. Like I loved Band of Brothers, or like if it's like World War I, World War II. Peter Jackson redid what was the documentary he did? They Will Never Grow Old from World War One, and they colorized that footage. It was really, really cool. So then he went and did the 3-hour Beatle documentary, which I wasn't a Beatles fan until I watched it. And I was like, holy shit, this is really, really cool. And he found a bunch of
4-movie series.
Say again.
You gonna see the 4-movie Beatles series?
I didn't know it was 4 movies. I did see the cast for it, and I was pretty excited.
Like focused on each is what I assume.
Well, I'll tell you my first response as soon as they showed Barry Keoghan. I'm like, that's Ringo. Immediately.
There's something about him. Maybe it's because he allegedly cheated on Sabrina Carpenter that every time I see his face, I'm like,
Mm.
Jen's
don't
the
trust
same
him.
way. Jen's the same way. She sees him, she's like, him and that little fucked up nose. First in the shoot, Kiara. Go right
Ooh,
ahead.
is it me? It's me. Yes. So these are my two picks. I would not class myself as a Disney adult, but I have a lot of respect for Disney adults. But I really enjoyed the movie Elemental, which is Pixar, which I think we've decided to lump them all together at this point because that's how life goes. But Elemental, have you guys seen it?
I have not.
No.
Okay. All right. So
Aubrey now, because I mean, she comes home every week and like, oh, we watched this in school. I'm like, are you doing any school? She's like, I'm like, oh, hey, Moana 2 just dropped. She's like, already seen it, saw it in social studies. I'm like, what?
So my teacher needed some time to herself,
Right.
which I also respect, you know?
We learned about hangovers today, so we watched
Oh
Moana
gosh.
2.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so Elemental is a movie about a society that has the four different elements: water, fire, earth, wind. And they like live together in harmony. But there's still like this like tacit level of like segregation that occurs. Like there's different there's like Fire Town, there's Water Town or whatever. There's this like level of segregation that's occurring, and it follows the main character. I'm terrible with names, but it's the female fire character that you can see in the picture. And her story is very reminiscent of like an immigration story. Like I would label Firetown as kind of like Chinatown if I were to make a parallel between the movie and like real life. And it's she comes up in like an immigration family, and her father owns a little store, and she goes through life with the assumption that she's gonna take over the store for her father, who is like growing old and sickly. And so she but she's really into like creating art because she's fire, so she can make like glass sculptures and things like that. And so she meets the male character who's water, and he comes from a family that's just like very accepting of going against the grain. And so he like introduces her to like these concepts that like just because you're fire doesn't mean you have to do what you think fire has to do, kind of situation. And meanwhile, the whole story for me really centered around the fact that like she's from like an immigrant family with like strong family ties to everything that you're doing. And so there's a point where, as in life, she rebels and it's like, oh, I don't want to own the store, even though I know that that's what we want to do, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to like the end of the movie, not to ruin it for you, but this is where my happy tears came in, where it's like there's like this friction where it's like, I don't want to do what I think I'm societally supposed to do because these are the expectations that I'm placing on myself because I believe they're being placed on me by my parents. And then you get to the end of the story and she does go against the grain, but her father bows to her in this like sign of like respect that like, do you? And so I'm getting choked up talking about it. Oh my gosh. But it's like just this like concept of, this concept of like your family loves and accepts you regardless of what it is you decide to do with your life, and they support you. Woo! I'm for real getting emotional. I'm okay, I promise.
I don't know, and it might just be the non-Disney. Well, you say a Disney adult as well. When I think a Disney adult, I think of the annoying Disney adults who dress as characters and go to the park and are just, let me collect all the pins and just be a weirdo. That's what I associate Disney adult with. You can watch fucking Disney movies as an adult. I mean, all of our parents did and bought them all. So they're
Disney starting to be for us, I feel like. Say again?
I said our VHS collection was elite. Yeah. Like we had every Disney movie.
Absolutely. I feel like the older I get, the more they resonate. It's almost like, oh, it was fun when I was a kid and the songs were cool and the moving pictures were fun, but the messages, they're for us for sure.
We just watched Encanto again not too long ago because we love it so much. And also, Abuela might be my biggest stop. She's horrible.
That was on. I've taken the girls to the dentist twice in the last month, and it was on both times. And yeah, I can feel you there. And of course, you get it right at the ass end of the movie both times. Like, God damn, let me go take a walk. You know.
As a Puerto Rican, I can personally attest to the actual cultural accuracies of that movie. It feels like the movie to live and exist. But yeah, no. So yes, my feel good movie was a Disney Pixar film, and then I slightly touched on the book Remarkably Bright Creatures because I finished it a month or so ago.
I've heard of this book.
Yeah, and so I think it was kind of hard for me to think of what I would want to talk about this. I feel like a glutton for pain because I feel like I love things that make me cry, but I like it best when it hurts, you know? So, it was difficult, but Remarkably Bright Creatures, I think when I first described it, I said it feels like a Hallmark movie. Like it feels like a movie with a couple twists and turns, nothing super stabbing. But at the end of the day, there's a happy ending, right? And so Remarkably Bright Creatures, it follows this like older Swedish woman. Her name is Tova, and she works at an aquarium. She has lost her husband to old age or cancer. I can't remember which of the two. And also her son, when he was 18, died in like a boating / water related accident that they never really got any answers about in terms of he was experienced on the water. Why did he what happened? How did he die? And so she works at the aquarium, and it's a multiple POV or third person omniscient, but I think it reads more like a multiple POV. And you follow her, this younger gentleman, and an octopus who lives at the aquarium that Tova works at. And you kind of see their stories converge. The younger gentleman was raised by was abandoned by a drug addict mother and never knew his father. Tova, like I already described, and then Marcellus, who's the octopus who was rescued from the ocean because he got into like a skirmish with another sea creature, right? And so you like follow the three of them. The young man ends up moving to the same town or going to the same town where Tova is in search of his father, based off some information that was left in a box of his mother's things. And so Marcellus, spoiler, Marcellus ends up discovering through similarities in their gait and the way that they talk and the way that they do things that this man is Tova's grandson who and so he embarks on this journey of like leaving his tank and like dropping little clues and communicating to Tova that this is her grandson so that she can have a family again and so that the son can understand that like he wasn't abandoned by his family. And it's just this like beautiful thing. But the happy tears for me happen because this whole thing is taking place when Marcellus first introducing himself to the reader. He's like, this is day number whatever of my captivity, and I'm only supposed to live X number of days, so I'm going to die soon, right? So all of this, him reuniting Tova with this young man, is happening against the clock of his life. And so at the end of the book, or not at the end of the book, but at the end of like Marcellus's life, Tova like has this like understanding with him, and she ends up putting him back in the ocean so he can die in the ocean. And it's like this full circle moment. And I just really like a story where humans interact with animals, but in not a cheeky Dr. Dolittle, I can actually talk to you kind of way. Because I think that there's such an amazing message about being able to commune and interact and feel feelings for something that can't talk to you. Very big on that. So it was just a very feel good moment when, even though he's dying, she returns him to the ocean and he gets to be free one last time.
Hell yeah. No, I've heard, man, I've heard of this book and I've heard of it before you brought it up. But is when they're telling this story, are you jumping from like a POV to a POV, like this story, this story, this story, and they converge in a sense? Or is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah, they come together in a really cool kind of way. But like I said, it's not, it's really hallmarky in the way that it's not super surprising. Like you figure it out in your head well before Marcellus says it and well before it's revealed to the characters. Like you start to see that this boy is actually related to Tova and everything's all kind of just coming together. So it's not like there's not shock value. It's not like a big plot twist situation. It's really just a feel-good Hallmark movie in print.
No,
Yeah.
I'm wholeheartedly with it. I love it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why. Maybe it's just that I'm not. I used to be the person that watched, going back to Elemental, I used to be the person that would watch all these movies as they come out because it was brand new, it just came out, I could put it on in front of my kids just walking, this, that, and the third, just learning how to talk. I've definitely fallen off of them, but as soon as I saw Elemental, I thought of the other, what's the other one? It's colorful, like Inside Out, right? The emotions, right? Okay. I don't know why I was confusing those two.
The second one is pretty, I feel like, pretty spot on when you talk about like puberty and the emotions that you exhibit and fall into as you like become more in tune with, or hormones become more a part of your life. And so I thought the second one was well, the first one obviously was very like scientifically and psychologically accurate. But I think they did a really good job depicting anxiety and kind of how those things like manage and take over your behavior in your life, especially as like a pubescent girl.
Well, can't speak on personal, but I'm sure my daughter tells me she loved it as well. So I'm sure that those definitely ring true. Alrie only came with one, but I already know the moment for the one. So we're gonna go ahead and do that one. Alrie, go right ahead. Sally Fields.
Yes, I did try to think of a book. I am not a crier. I very rarely cry. Like
I cry for everything. You got a good commercial? I'm there.
I have cried. Like I can think of one time maybe in the last year that I've cried, and it was from a book, but it was a very sad book. So I'm not a crier. Oh no, I did cry 2 weeks ago watching Survivor, because if you didn't see, there was this viral moment on Survivor that was like so heartwarming. Like it's the only time I've ever watched. I've seen every single episode of Survivor. Jeff cried. Like it was crazy. Like it was just like very, very touching. I should have put that on here because I did cry happy tears on there. They don't feel happy when you're crying, but but yeah, so there like are not a lot of books that have made me cry, and the ones that have are devastating. Like I remember reading The Light Between Oceans, I think is what it's called. So it's about they made a movie version of it too, but it's about a couple that is living on this island with a lighthouse, and the husband's job is to tend the lighthouse. While they're there, the wife has like several miscarriages, and so they have like this little like graveyard for their children who have died or not come to term. And then one day a little boat washes up, and the only person on it is like a baby. So they keep her there and raise her as her own. And then eventually he doesn't work for the lighthouse anymore. They go back, and the mom, who has been looking for this child for 8 years or whatever, is like, that's my baby. Like, I don't know how, I don't remember how she knows. I read it like 10 years ago. It is so good. And then at the end, there's this letter that is written to the mom from the lighthouse. And it is like, I remember it took me like 20 minutes to read these 3 pages of this letter because it was just so devastating. Like it was nice. Like, so I guess, but it was devastating. Like that I could not, I was crying so hard that I could not see the pages. So like that's one of the few books that I remember like having such an emotional reaction to. Um, but yeah, I have much more emotional reactions to movies, I think, because like I've said, I have a really hard time visualizing things when I'm reading. Um, and I don't know if that has something to do with it, but like movies, I can get like more emotionally attached because I'm seeing it happen. But Homeward Bound, if you have not seen it, has everyone seen Homeward Bound?
Here's Laura jumps in.
Yes. So it's about three pets who get lost. They get separated from their family, and they are trying to make their way back. So there are three children in the family. They each like have responsibility over one of these animals. So the girl has Sassy, the cat, who is voiced, of course, by Sally Fields.
Sally Fields, yeah.
The middle
Mind
boy.
you, I took a guess. You told me Homeward Bound. I didn't know if it was this one or the sequel.
It is this one, yes. The sequel
Okay.
is still very good, but it's definitely this one. The middle son is responsible for Chance. That is his dog. He's still pretty young, so he has like a lot of energy. And then the oldest son has Shadow, the retriever that we see, who is an older dog, but he's definitely the leader of the gang. He takes charge of trying to get them back. So there are all these perilous things, but the end, they're reunited with their family, and it is the happiest, most heartbreaking thing you will ever see in your life. Because like
I could see him cresting over that hill.
yes, they
Mhm.
go over the hill,
Yeah.
and the kids see the first one because they're like getting ready to leave, and they just
Yeah.
look over and they're like, "Oh my god!" And I think it's Sassy who comes up first, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the cat comes up,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And so the little girl sees her and runs to it, and they're like, "Oh my god! Like, there's no way this cat made it back." But
Right.
then Chance comes up, and everyone is ecstatic. And then there's this long pause where you're just waiting for this old dog to hobble over, and like everyone has given up hope because he's not coming. No one goes to look over the hill. They just gotta stand there and wait, but that's fine.
He'll come
And
to us.
everyone, like you can just see like the defeat in everyone, and especially the youngest son. It's just like he was too old, he couldn't make it back or whatever. And then he comes up over and he's limping and he's covered in mud, and it is, I can't even really talk about it. And it still comes up all the time on my TikTok, like movies that
Does it really?
child. Yes. But it is one of the best movies that I ever watched as a child, and I love it. Whereas the movie The Fox and the Hound traumatized me and makes me cry harder than anything I've ever seen when she leaves him in the woods. And I
Makes
will,
me angry now.
yeah,
Like, I
I,
feel like I used to feel sadness, and now I just feel rage.
yeah, it is maybe the saddest movie I've ever seen, and it is a Disney movie. And because she abandons him in the woods, and it is so sad.
We I had YouTube on the TV, and our puppy was asleep on the couch, and somehow it was just like a goofy movie or a goofy video, and someone put a clip of the Fox and the Hound on it when the little basset hound they are leaving, the little basset hound does that, oh, and my dog woke up, and I was like, don't you fucking acknowledge that. You lay back down. No,
Yeah, if you have not seen Homeward Bound, everyone should watch it. Everyone should rewatch it and cry traumatized happy tears because it is so good.
I'm set. I like the second one because I'm a Chihuahua guy. Our Chihuahua passed this last year, but I love the little Chihuahua that had fleas in the second one. It
Yeah.
was like, yeah, dude, what's going on? Just scratching. That was always my favorite one as a
Yeah,
kid.
the second one was
But
really good.
as soon as you text me Homeward Bound, I was like, oh, right when he crests that hill, I know exactly what got her.
I can see it so vividly.
It just opened up that whole can of worms again. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna go. I just thought of it because I didn't have any books, but I have some graphic novels that all by one artist that really every one of his books are nothing but a kick in the nuts, or proverbial nuts. You don't have those. They get me every time. Every single one of his books get me, and it never fails. Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson writes books that are just killers. This one is Murder Falcon. It's about a young man named Jake who's in a band, but he just up and abandons everybody and leaves town and quits the band. And all of a sudden, these giant kaiju monsters come and start taking over the world. And you're like, okay, what is all this? But it's all about what music can do for people and how music can bring people together. The very big thing at the end of it is you find out Jake leaves because Jake has cancer, and Jake knows that he's dying. And they go and they go to this old ancient relic that's this key, and it opens up to all these people that, you know, it's the big power that wins in the end. It's all these people who are sick and dying, but regardless of what's going on in their life, they still clamor to music, and in the face of death sing into the void out loud. And it's so good, and it breaks my fucking heart every time. And I was dumb enough to let my wife read it, and then I just look over the bed and she just gave me one of those side looks in the bed. She's like,
how dare you?
She can't speak like that. When little kids get like all vapor locked and can't talk or breathe, like you do that. That's one of his books. This one, it's actually a Daniel Warren Johnson again. It's a wrestling book. It's so you come to find out, young girl, she's a wrestler because her mother was a wrestler and her mother died. She goes off the top turnbuckle, slips, doing a move, and she snaps her neck. And she's kind of doing like a power bomb thing. We're trying to flip the guy, but she slips, snaps her neck. You come to find out the opponent that she was wrestling against in the time, and it was never told to the young girl, was actually her dad in a luchador mask. So her dad was in the ring doing a move that killed, you know, her mother.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Well, the whole book is they get invited to an otherworldly wrestling tournament where the winner can bring back a loved one. But you realize that everybody that else is in this tournament have lost people as well. There's a woman in there that's taking no, you know, she's not being generous to anybody because she lost a newborn, you know, and she's wrestling to do this, that. Very, very good book. And I'm just going to spoil the hell out of it because at the very end of it, she has to wrestle God. Sounds weird, right? And she loses, but at the very end of it, the fucking last panel of the book, it pans to the crowd, and mind you, they're in heaven, and everyone in there are angels. It pans to the very last panel of the book, and Mom's actually in the front row, and she says, "Get him, girl!" And it fucked me up, man.
Oh, it's about to fuck me up, and I've never even seen it.
And she doesn't even know Mom's there, and Mom does see her become such a great wrestler in what this luchador culture that she grew up in. And now currently he's got one book that's going on now that's still being printed, is The Moon is Following Us. Little girl goes to sleep and she won't wake up, and the mother and the father get transported to this fantasy world of all these creatures to bring her back. It's where she's stuck in, but you come to find out that all the things that are there are all fabricated from this young girl's imagination. And it's super good. I can't speak on it yet because it's not over, it's not finished, but reading every one of his other titles, it's probably going to just really fuck me up too. But it's got the makings for another really, really good one.
I will be reading all of those.
Yeah, super, super good. But The Moon is Following Us. It's going on right now. But Daniel Warren Johnson, he knows how to tear you apart. But unlike Allery, I'm a bit of a crier.
I literally just cried. What is happening?
I picked movies. Some of them were fucking obvious, on the nose. Good Will Hunting makes me cry every time I watch it.
Ooh.
It's that scene with Robin Williams and Matt Damon just invokes the waterworks every damn time. The whole "it's not your fault" every time gets me. It's one of my favorite movies, but I still just do that to myself whenever I see it on. I will put it on. Happy Tears. I was in the movie theater with my daughter, and I had to look away because I was crying at animated Spider-Man. When when Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man and figures it all out, and there's that big score that's going on, and I was verklempt. I had to look away. That one gets me, just being a comic book guy.
Kiara, I could see the dog's shadow coming in. I was like, what's happening before his snout?
No, he's right. Yeah, that right there. Sorry, I'm emotional, so he is obviously
That's a good dog. I was thinking
at the
about that.
ready.
Yeah, let me figure this out. I'm sure everyone's seen it. It was my best movie of the year. I think it was 2 years ago. It came out. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once gets me. It gets
So
me every
good.
time. It gets me every time, especially now raising a young teenager too. It gets me from so many different points. I think the biggest one was Wei He Kwan, the character of Short Round, that guy. When they're in that alternate universe or the alternate dimension, and he hits her with, "I would have been happy just doing laundry and taxes with you," gets me every time. And weirdly enough, my obscure one is The Martian. There's one scene in The Martian that makes me cry every time after Mark Watley has been on Mars for over a year now, and he has to jettison and tear apart his the launch pod of the ship that's there. He has to get it all down to strip it all so that they can come and pick him up and get the weight down for it. And his teeth are fucking gross and his hair is all fucking crazy. And he finally makes communication with the guys in the space shuttle, and he starts to break down and cry, and he's losing his shit. And he's like, "Hey guys, I mean, thank you for coming to get me." And he's losing his shit. I was like, "Oh fuck, man!" I turned it on the other day and I fucking cried again. It's a weird one. It's an obscure one, but again, I'm a bit of a fucking crier. But I didn't want to get ones that were too on the nose. But obviously, Good Will Hunting's dead on every time. But it might just be the basicness of me. I know it's in my my letterbox top 4. So that one definitely gets me every freaking time. I swear I'm just dry. I'm not wet. That was all of our picks. Obviously, I have the next part of our Creepcast, but it's a 30-minute one, and I was going to choose for us to break that in half anyway, but we're already over an hour. I obviously don't want to take your guys' day. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Rest of the Sunday?
Lots of meal prep. So that's not exciting, but I'm excited that I feel up to doing it because I have not for a while. Yeah. Like I already cleaned up a little bit. I gave the dogs baths, which really needed done, and washed the bedding. So it's been a productive day. We're hoping to go for a Poke Walk, which is a walk where we play Pokemon Go around the town. But it has been raining and the town has been flooded for like 4 days. So
I was gonna ask that because, like I said, my in-laws were here and they were talking about the water being real high, and now I feel terrible. My buddy said, "Love Good Will Hunting. You have to admit, though, it is a bit cheesy." Shut up. Yeah, I now I feel terrible because I think about it. My grandma calls me on Sunday. I should have probably called her, make sure the flood water wasn't high. She's in Bookdale. Think she's good?
So we were gone. I was at a conference and Tim was on vacation this week, so he went with me Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so we were able to get home yesterday, but like schools were canceled on Friday because of the flooding. When we were leaving Thursday afternoon, like it was high.
Yeah.
And I did read today that like overnight that Nelsonville is flooding again. I don't know about Bookdale, but like they have already gone down, but because it's still raining so much that like it's flooding again. Chansey was flooded yesterday. So you couldn't get to Athens unless you took the flood route. But yeah, and I mean it's supposed to rain all week, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Kiara, plans for the day?
More laundry, organizing, packing life. I'm hoping I leave for New Orleans on Thursday. I'm doing a sister trip with my sister, obviously, this coming weekend. And I'm hoping to list the house the following week. So I'm really hoping to get a lot done between now and Wednesday so that when I come back, everything's organized enough that people can come and take pictures / see the house, and then I can just do the rest of the work, hopefully while it's under contract, as life.
I hear you. I mean, it's exciting. Are you hoping to now? You're going to put the house, and you're moving to where again? Or you would like
Undetermined.
to? Okay.
Yeah, I want to move to Kansas. I'm going to move to the Kansas City area eventually. That's end state. Right now, like I said, everything with okay, he doesn't know if he wants to be on the couch or off the couch. But there was a recent email that came out with work that's basically like major downsizings happening in the next 4 to 5 weeks. And so it may be a situation where I don't take on rent or a mortgage and I just live with my brother for a little bit, because it's going to be a situation of not, it's going to be a chapter of uncertainty, but we're taking it on the chin. We are.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, Kansas City's the next thing. And I mean, I don't have any reservations about my ability to quickly get a job if I decide to just go directly to the city. So that is an option. It's quickly moving up in the plans to plan A because it's my most immediate fix for a quick job that's equal to what I'm getting now. Because I work remote, but I live in small town USA, and so there's nothing to match, to like salary match me here where I am. So my only option would be to move to a city, and I think that I would be very easily able to bridge if I just move directly to the city. But there's some stuff going on, like my brother's in a situation where he might be getting his 3 boys, and then it's like, do I want to be close to home / do I want to? It's tumultuous, but like I said, we're taking it on the chin. We are manifesting that we will be taken care of by the universe and the creator, and so we feel good about it.
What does sister's trip consist of?
I'm showing her New Orleans. I've been, she's never been. She's big into like food. And so we just started. So I'm 8 years separated from my sister. She's much older than I am. And not to say much older, but like 8 years feels like much older when you're younger. It doesn't feel much older when you're older. And so we just started an annual sister trip last year. We went to New Hampshire and did like, Boston, Salem, the mountains. We did that whole vibe around this time last year. And so this year we're doing New Orleans. There's a jazz festival, like a free street jazz festival in the French Quarter that happens annually around this time of year. So we lined it up with that. And so, yeah, we're just going to wander around and eat etouffee and love our lives for a few days.
We went for the first time this past October. We went for the Boo Crew, like the big Halloween parade. So that was a lot of fun. We had never been, and we love by we, I mean me and Tim will tag along. But everything's spooky. So we did like a really good ghost tour. I went to the Death Museum by myself because that was too much for him. And it was a lot. But it was so cool. I was in there for like 2 hours, which is a little sadistic when you see how small it is, but but yeah, lots of spooky stuff to do around New Orleans too. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. My sister has already said no to the Voodoo Museum, but I'm a little intrigued, so maybe I'll end up there. I don't know.
It was pretty good.
Oh yeah. I've got laundry and I've got to pack a bag of something that's going to keep me occupied for 24 hours tomorrow. So whatever singles I can read and whatever books I want to finish. Got some it's baseball season finally, so I'm excited for that. I got some baseball to watch. The dog got bathed yesterday. Washed the bed linens. Already got that knocked out, so I can do all of our clothes. I already know what's going to happen. My daughter's going to wait till 9 o'clock tonight and tell me she's got nothing to wear, so I'm going to get prepped for that. We call that Aubrey laundry. It's Sunday at 9, and then that's really it. We didn't want to do anything. Even Jen last night, she's like, "What do you want to have?" My wife's that person that we're sitting and eating dinner. She's like, "What do you want to have for dinner tomorrow?" I'm like, "Let me eat dinner tonight, and then I'll figure that out." But I think we're just gonna go lazy hot dogs tonight. So nothing too exciting. No, it's crazy to hear about all your rain because obviously my in-laws came here and we're in Washington. It always rains, but
Yeah.
you guys are getting feet of rain. So, ladies, as always, it was a pleasure to get to unwind with the both of you. Laura, I will hope to see you back in 3 weeks. We're not going to go do it in 2 weeks. We're going to do 3 weeks. We're going to skip that Easter holiday. Yeah. This has been Plot Points, ladies, and I will see you in 3 weeks. I also apologize. You guys have been absolutely vocal in the group chat. I love to see it, but I was preoccupied with the in-laws. And every time I'm walking in a crowd of people, I'm like, oh, 27 messages. What is all this?
It was a lot of Ted Lasso content at the time. So
well, good, because now I'm the only one that hasn't watched it still.
Yes.
So.
And I think you would like it.
Oh, I'm sure I would. I like Jason Sudeikis regardless. He was one of my favorite people on Saturday Night Live. I'm still a habitual Saturday Night Live watcher. So, yeah, of course. But this is Plot Points. We'll see you guys in 3 weeks. And I'm going to end the stream and see you later.
Bye.